Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to blur sign information, so let's get into it. Alright, so these are just a few. We're going to do 5 signs. These are just some old pictures. We actually used to offer sign installation as well as part of our service. We don't offer that anymore, but I'm just going to demonstrate on these signs how to blur this information. So what we use is the pen tool. So click on the pen tool and then we'll just outline the sign here. You could do each individually or you can do it together. You would use this method whenever the sign is in a tough spot to be able to remove and make it look natural. Sometimes you're really close up on a sign and it's covering up a large portion of the house. So if you remove it, it's not gonna look very good. So that's when this comes into play. So you wanna outline it. Then you right click, select make selection, and then hit OK. I have the radius set to 5 pixels, but you can change that if you want or fine tune it the way you would like to. And then what we're gonna do is select filter, blur, and then we like Gaussian blur. I think that looks good. So that's pretty extreme. So depending on the radius is how much it's gonna blur, right? So you'll wanna at least blur it to the extent that you can't read the information, but you can blur it, up to just so it looks gray like that. So just basically decide how blurred you want it, and then all you do is save it. So let me move on to the next example. Same thing, I'm just gonna do the same thing a few times, just because sometimes it's good just to see it done a few times before to get it, right? So outline the sign here, right click, make selection, OK, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and that looks fine to me. And we'll go to the next one. So pen tool, outline, usually making 4. Like basically a square. You can do more if you need to. Right click, make selection, OK, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then if you want to see it without the outline you hit Command D and that deselects that. Alright, this one we have multiple signs, so get a little bit of a variety. So let's do the same thing, pen tool, so we'll do one at a time. Make selection, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. That looks all right. Now we'll do the next one. Right click, make selection. Whoops, let's hit OK first. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. That looks good. And now we're gonna do the same thing right here. After each sign I hit Command D just to deselect the previous one. Right click, make selection, hit OK. Go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And that looks pretty good. At least they're all consistent. They all look blurred relatively the same. Alright, so that one's done, that one's done, that one's done, that one's done, and here's one more. We'll do them, just to do it differently, we'll do it individually. So we'll do the coming soon sign. We'll do this top sign first and then we'll do the coming soon. So make selection, OK, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I probably prefer it a little less blurred. Command D, deselect, and just keep doing it here. And right click, make selection. OK, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And that looks good to me. Command D, and then it's just a matter of saving the photo. So anyways, just want to do a quick demonstration of how to blur sign information when it's not going to look good for you to remove the sign entirely in the photo. If you have any additional questions on how to do this or something you're running into trouble with, feel free to reach out, and we'll see you guys on the next one.